Hello there. Happy Monday. I am Dr. Shiroko Sokitch, owner of Heart to Heart Medical Center and the author of the book, Healing When It Seems Impossible, 7 Keys to Defy the Odds. And this month, my whole entire topic is about the heart and love and the emotion of love and healing. So today I'm going to talk about oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone because it's about connection and connecting to other people. And interestingly, it's believed to be produced by the hypothalamus or the pituitary gland, and that is one of the places it's produced, but it's actually produced in the heart. Now, this is one of those places where I just love that science and Chinese medicine and what we know to be true about health is actually true and proven by science. So I just love that. But anyway, oxytocin is produced by the heart, and the heart, as I've mentioned before, sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends back to the heart. So the heart is in constant communication with the brain. And when we feel connection and love and caring and good things, the oxytocin levels rise. When we are traumatized and we're stressed, or we have a lot of things going on that are negative and our cortisol levels rise, then the oxytocin levels drop. We don't talk enough about oxytocin. Actually, a few years ago when there were fires in Santa Rosa, we had in 2017, there was a lot. I did a summit for disaster recovery to help people with their health after the trauma of the fires, because 3,000 people lost their homes in that fire. Anyway, but the trauma, one of the people that I spoke to about the trauma recommended that people use oxytocin to help get out of the PTSD. So oxytocin can be used for PTSD and for helping. It can actually be used as a supplement to relieve PTSD or anxiety or stress from trauma that people have experienced, and that has been studied. There's also a lot of research about oxytocin in relation to pain and various other things. So here's the interesting thing. So oxytocin actually slows your heartbeat, helps lower your blood pressure, helps calm your nervous system, and sends a signal through the vagus nerve to help calm your whole entire system. I'm wearing a heart on my shirt today to highlight and I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. I love sharing that. But anyway, so oxytocin does help calm the nervous system and helps you feel connection and love. And in Chinese medicine, as we've talked about last week, there's the connection between your spirit and your heart, and your higher self and your heart. And so all of these things come together. There's this fabulous institute, the Heart Math Institute, that was founded in Palo Alto in 1993 or something like that, kind of similar to when I started my business. And they have done a lot of research about love and oxytocin and heart connection. And some very interesting things, like if you beam love at a strand of DNA, you can actually alter the structure of the DNA. So the power of love can be that strong that it can change the structure of your DNA. And we don't often think about those things. So the things that will help raise your oxytocin are things that are fun, like hugging somebody or loving your children. In relationship, they say when you first bond with a partner, that bond sensation is caused by oxytocin. They also talk about oxytocin in relation to when a baby is born. The mother and the baby's oxytocin help them bond to one another. So it creates bond and love and connection. So hugging someone, laughing, dancing, doing things that you love, doing things that feel good are what help raise your oxytocin levels. And so I often ask my clients, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel happy? Because that's where your oxytocin levels will rise, and that will help lower your heart rate. There's even evidence that it lowers cholesterol. There's a lot of good things that come from raising oxytocin levels. So I also did a little research to figure out, are there supplements that can help raise your oxytocin? And it's not really entirely, it's like more emotional, spiritual things that help raise your oxytocin levels. So like the hugging and the dancing and the feeling good activities. But there are supplements that will help raise it. So magnesium, which I've talked about a lot, magnesium actually regulates like 400 chemical reactions in your body, including helping your mitochondria function, and relaxes your blood vessels and relaxes your nervous system. So magnesium has a lot of support, and it does help support oxytocin receptors. So, and when you have low magnesium, it can impair oxytocin's signaling function. Vitamin D also supports oxytocin production. And so, you know how when we don't go outside very much, or in winter when there's not a lot of sun, there might be a seasonal variation. Some people get what's called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. It might be because their vitamin D levels drop. And vitamin D does support oxytocin production. Omega-3 fatty acids, which is another one of the supplements that I highly recommend for your brain, your nervous system, your immune system, and your hormonal system. But it supports your vagus nerve, which is all connected to the oxytocin. And then there are other things that might be considered cofactors that support oxytocin production. L-carnitine there's some evidence that L-carnitine may enhance oxytocin production and receptors for oxytocin. And zinc and iron are also, important for balance, and they also may be necessary for oxytocin pathways to work right. Nitric oxide is connected to oxytocin, so nitric oxide has something to do with helping support circulation, and there's a lot of supplements that help raise your nitric oxide levels, because nitric oxide helps improve your blood vessel function and your blood vessel circulation. And oxytocin helps enhance nitric oxide, and nitric oxide helps support oxytocin's function. So they kind of go back and forth. So there's beetroot that helps with that. Aged garlic and NAC, one of my favorite supplements, N-acetylcysteine, is also a substrate for glutathione and helps support nitric oxide balance. So there are many ways to improve oxytocin in your body and in your life. And I encourage you to do so. There are actually oxytocin supplements. They can be used as nasal spray. And you always have to be careful, because there are online sources for purchasing oxytocin, and you want to make sure that you buy something like that from a reputable source, and don't just, randomly buy something that you're not sure is a high quality, reputable source. You can also get oxytocin as a prescription medication. Years ago, when I was studying hormones a lot and took a hormone course, one of the things that one of the subjects of the lectures was oxytocin, and how oxytocin also improves sexual function, because again, it helps support circulation, improves the quality of the pleasure that people experience, because again, when you have more connection in your heart, you also have more oxytocin. So find things that raise your oxytocin, find ways to have fun and to play and to enjoy your life, because it's vital to your health. I hope this was a helpful talk today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Have a great day.